Hello everyone and welcome to another video on projection of solids with solved examples. So these are the contents of this lecture: classification of solids. Then we will see parts, naming conventions to be used. Then various positions of solids with reference to horizontal plane and vertical plane. Then steps to solve problems in projection of solids. Then we will see some examples. Then we will see auxiliary inclined plane method to save time, and then list of practice problems which you have to solve. So let us start with the first topic, that is classification of solids. So basically this is classified in two types. One is the group of solid where you have base and top of same shape. For example, a cylinder. So you have a base of as a circle and as well as the top as a circle. Second category of solids having base of some shape and just a point as a top, called as apex or vertex. Okay, so example is cylinder. In the first case, you have circular base and circular top, which is called as the category of prisms. So you can see that there are various shapes. So first is triangular prism because it has the base and top of triangular shape. Then you have a square prism where base and top is of square shape. Then you have pentagonal prism, again the base and top of pentagonal shape, and finally you have hexagonal prism. So depending on the shape of base and top, you have to decide which category it is. Okay, so if base and top is same, you will term it as prism. So this cylinder can be termed as circular prism, okay, because the base and top of this is a circle. Now let us come to second category, in which there will be some base of some shape and all the points from the base will meet at a single point at the top, called as apex. So cone is example. So you have a circular base and all the points emerging from the base circumference will meet at a single point, that is called as apex. So similarly you have pyramids. If the base is triangle, so you will name this as triangular pyramid. If the base is square, so it will be termed as a square pyramid. If the base is pentagon, then it will be termed as pentagonal pyramid. And if the base is hexagon, then it will be termed as hexagonal pyramid. Okay, so basically these are the two types. So in prisms you also have a cube having square base and square top and square side face as well. And in pyramids, one special type of triangular pyramid is called as tetrahedron. So tetrahedron is basically all the three faces are equilateral triangle along with the base, right? So triangular pyramids will have three isosceles triangles, okay, but in the tetrahedron case you will have three equilateral triangle along with the base, which is also an equilateral triangle. Means a solid having four equilateral triangular faces. Okay, so this is the case of tetrahedron. Now let us understand various parts of the solids. So you have, for example, square prism, square pyramid, cylinder, and cone. So these are the four solids you have. So first is the top, right? So this is the top of square prism. then this is a rectangular face, right? This is called as rectangular face. A square prism has four rectangular face. Okay. This vertical line joining base and the top is called as longer edge of solid. Okay, or simply it is called as edge of the solid. Okay. This point is called as corner of base. So for a square prism, you will have four corners of the base and four corners of the top. This is called as edge of base. Okay, so remember, this is called as edge of the solid, and this is called as edge of the base, and this is called as edge of top. So in the problem you have to read what condition is given with reference to which edge, whether it is edge of top or whether it is edge of solid or whether it is edge of base. So you have to correctly identify what is given and okay, so that is you have to see. So this is the base. Okay, now coming to square pyramid. Since it is a pyramid, this point, the topmost point, is called as apex. This is called as a slant edge. Okay, this is called as base. This is called as edge of base. This is corner of base, and this is a triangular face. So it is a square pyramid. It will have four triangular faces. Okay. Coming to the category of cylinder, you have base and top as a circle, and these imaginary lines are called as generators, which we have already seen in this conic sections, and these two are called as end generators, which are visible. So you can see in cylinder and cone you will have two end generators and other generators are imaginary. Okay. So various parts are shown. Now one terminology is there, that is truncated solid and frustum of solids. So the basic difference between a truncated solid or frustum of solid is, in the frustum of solid, the solid is cut parallel to the base. Okay, and upper portion is removed. So remaining solid is called as frustum. So if you cut a cone, you will get this as a frustum of cone. If you cut a pyramid, you will see like this as a frustum of pyramid. Similarly, if you cut a cone or cylinder or pyramid with some inclinations to the base, so you will get these as three shapes: truncated cone, truncated cylinder, and truncated pyramid. Okay. Let us see the lettering and numbering used for prisms. So for prism, since you have base and top, what we will do, we will use alphabets at the bottom and we will use numbers at the top. Okay, this naming convention you have to follow. You can also reverse it also, that is you can use alphabets at the top and numbers at the bottom. It is up to you. Okay, so that is the naming convention you can use for naming your points of front view and top view. Now let us see various positions of cone, that is circular pyramid. So this is the front view, okay, of a cone standing on HP on its base. Okay, having axis perpendicular to HP, you can see the axis is perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Okay, so what is axis? Suppose if you have a cone, so a line passing through the apex and center of the base. Okay, so that imaginary line is called as apex. Oh, sorry, is called as axis of the cone. Okay, which is also called as line of symmetry. So this is the position which represents a cone standing on HP on its base with axis perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. The second condition or position you can see is a cone resting on HP on one point of the base circle. Okay, so this condition is axis is inclined to HP and parallel to VP. So you can see that this axis is inclined at suppose this is 45 degree to HP and parallel to VP. Okay, and the third position is lying on HP. So your cone is on one end generator. Okay, so the position is axis inclined to HP. You can clearly see this inclination. Okay, and it is parallel to VP. So these are the various positions of cone you can assume in projection of solids. Then similarly various positions with reference to a pyramid. So you have a pyramid standing on HP on its base. So this is the condition. So this first and third you have already seen, right? So since it is a pyramid resting on HP on one point of base, okay, so you have these conditions. So it is represented by this top view of the base. Okay, so since you are having this point over here in the top view of a hexagonal pyramid, you are getting only one point here, that is A dash, right? So if you mean to draw the final top view of this, suppose, so it will be seen like something like this. Okay, so that's why the position of a pyramid resting on HP on one point of base. So this is the base point. It is resting on only single point, you can see. This is one that is resting on one point. This is second, resting on HP on one edge of base. You can see whenever the condition is given like it is resting on only one point, means on XY you must have only one point. But if the condition is like a solid is resting on HP on edge, you know that edge means 2 points. So you must have 2 points over here, that is A dash and B dash. So in this case, you can observe the change of position of this top view. So what we have done, now vertically you have a side or edge. Okay, so that you will get 2 points over here. Okay, so for example, if this is like this A, B, C, D, E, F. So you have only one point over here, so that is a corner. Okay, corner of base. And this is the edge of base. And the last is lying on HP on a triangular face. So you know that a pyramid has a triangular face. So the condition is like this, axis inclined to HP and parallel to VP. Okay, so these are the various positions of a pyramid. Let us see the same cases, various positions of cylinder, which is called as circular prism. So again, standing on HP on its base, axis perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. So this is the cylinder. So if you draw a top view, it will be a circle. Okay. So similarly, this condition, a cylinder resting on HP on one point of base circle. You can see if you draw a top view of this, it will be something like this. So axis inclined to HP and parallel to VP, right? So you can see this axis is inclined at some degrees to XY. This is the position of cylinder resting on HP on one point of base circle. The third position could be lying on HP on one end generator. The cylinder is lying on HP along the height or end generator. So this is your end generator. Okay. So top view of this will be a rectangle. So the circular portion will be seen in the side view. Okay. I hope you are able to imagine all these cases. And if you are not able to imagine these cases, take a water bottle and then try to imagine. Similarly, various positions of a prism. You can see a prism standing on HP on its base. So you may have something here in the top view. Okay. So one end point of edge of base. So it is resting on HP. So again, this is one point because here it is one point. If a prism is resting on HP on edge of base, so since it is mentioned that is edge, you must have 2 points on XY, right? So that's why this one side will be vertical, so that you will get 2 points in the front view. The third case is prism lying on HP on a rectangular face. Now since it is a prism, in case of pyramids you have a triangular faces, and in case of prisms you have a rectangular face. Okay, so this is the case. The top view of this will be also a rectangle. The side view will show its true shape. Again, now various positions of cone if it is assumed to be standing on vertical plane. Okay, so if a cone is standing on vertical plane on its base, okay, with axis perpendicular to VP and parallel to HP, then this would be its top view and you will get a circle in the front view. Okay, now second condition is resting on VP on one point of base circle which is in VP vertical plane. So that's why you can see there is only one point over here, correct? And the third case is lying on VP on end generator. So this is a cone and this is the end generator of a cone. Okay, so in this way you can decide how to draw or how to locate the positions of the various cone. But again, if this if you're finding this as difficult, we have a systematic methodology designed so that you only need to answer some of the questions and it will give you the correct solution of the problem. Okay, so let us see this methodology. So steps to solve problems in projection of solids. Now similar to projection of planes, these problems are solved in 3 stages. So for that you need to answer some of the questions. So whenever you get a problem statement, you will answer these questions first so that you will get the starting point of the problem. So what is the first question? So first question is surface, face or corner is resting on which plane? So you will read the problem and then you will try to answer these questions. So after reading the problem, suppose you find that the corner of cone suppose is resting on HP. So possible answers are given over here. That is, it is resting on HP or VP or profile cone. So found out the answer that it is in HP. Okay. Once you get the answer of this question, you will proceed towards second. So your initial assumption will be solid standing on base, okay, on answer of the previous question, that is first question. So simply you have to write here. So your initial assumption will be solid standing with base on HP. Okay, just try to imagine. So third case is which view will show the true shape of the base. Okay, if you can prepare a cone, you can keep a cone on your table and just try to imagine that if it is on HP, which view will show the true shape of the base. So you will quickly say that top view will show its true shape. Okay, so if a solid is standing on HP, its top view will give you the true shape. If it is standing on vertical plane, its front view will give its true shape. Okay, so answers is already given over there. So the answer of this is suppose top view. Okay, so you have to begin with this view, means you will start with the top view. Okay, now what are the three stages? You have determined that you have to start with top view, but what are the three stages? So first stage is draw front view and top view of the solid in standing position. Okay, the second stage is considering solid inclination. So in the first stage you are assuming, like, suppose this. So this is your first stage, that is so this is your first stage. You have drawn solid standing on HP. Okay, so you have drawn front view and top view of this. The second stage is you have to incline it. So second stage is resting case, resting condition or inclination condition. So you have rested the solid at one corner. Okay, so this is the stage 2. So considering solid inclination or axis position, draw its front view and top view. And stage 3, in the last step, considering remaining inclination, draw its final top view. So there will be one more inclination given to you, either with XY line, either with front view inclination or top view inclination. So that you have to draw. So even if there are some confusions at this stage, let us understand with the help of an example. So before moving on to example, remember the pattern of solving the problem. So in the previous section, you have identified that we have to start with the top view. Okay, so just remember the pattern. So starting with top view, the pattern is like stage 1, solid standing on the base. So first diagram you will draw over here. Okay, whatever the top view will be, circle, square, rectangle, or whatever. So this is the solid standing on the base, case stage 1. Then you will obtain the projection. So you have drawn top view first, then corresponding front view you have drawn, that is the second stage. That is the first stage only, that is the front view. Okay, now after drawing this, second stage comes, that is a resting condition. So you have to redraw this second diagram at given inclination of axis or edges to get the third diagram. Now to obtain the fourth diagram, you simply have to project all the points of the third diagram and you have to transfer all the locuses of the first diagram to obtain the fourth diagram. Okay, now once you get the fourth diagram, last other condition is whatever the condition is there, you have to incline that. Okay, so you have to redraw this fourth diagram at given inclination. You will understand this better whenever we will take a sample problem. Okay. Now to obtain the last final figure, that is sixth figure, you simply have to project all the points of the fifth diagram and you have to transfer all the locuses from the third diagram. Okay, to obtain the sixth diagram. So in which way you can see, if you start with top view, so pattern is like this, right? So what if you start with the front view? So your first diagram will be above xy, because front view always appears above xy in first angle method of projection. So to obtain the second diagram, you will simply project it. Then resting condition. So you may be given with some resting condition with vertical plane. Okay. So redraw at given inclination to get the third diagram. Then project the third diagram to obtain the fourth diagram by transferring locuses from first diagram. The third condition, the third stage, the other condition, that is inclination condition. Redraw the fourth diagram at given inclination to get the fifth diagram. And finally, to get the sixth diagram, project fifth diagram and transfer the locuses of all the points of the third diagram. So you always remember this pattern. It is a zigzag pattern, something like this. Okay. And here there is a redraw. Okay. So let us see some of the examples so that whatever doubts in your mind, that will get solved. The first problem is a square pyramid, 40 mm base sides and axis 60 mm long, has a triangular face on HP. Okay. And the vertical plane containing the axis makes an angle of 45 degree with VP. So draw its projection and take apex nearer to vertical plane. That condition is given to you. So just try to answer the questions, that age, face, what is given in HP. So you can clearly see a triangular face is given on HP. So your first answer of the first question is HP. So initial assumption will be the base of the square pyramid will be on HP. So if it is on the HP, which view will show its true shape? So answer is top view. So you have to start with top view. Okay. So after getting the answers of all the questions, first draw XY. Then again in this case you have two options. The first of all we will draw this case ABCD and O. And remember, while drawing this pyramids, these edges, suppose you have a square pyramid. Okay, so these are the edges of the solids. This is O point and this is ABCD. So these edges will also have to be dark. If you observe from the top direction, so this OD, OC, OB and OA, you have to draw it dark. Okay, so I will now project it. This is the first diagram which you have completed. To obtain the second diagram, you have to project it. So you are giving the axis is 60 mm long. Okay, and square pyramid of base sides 40-40. So this is 40-40 and the axis is 60 mm long. Okay, so you have now drawn the front view and top view of a square pyramid. Okay, now after answering all the questions, you have concluded that you have to start with the top view, but there could be another position of the top view as well. So suppose this could be a position. Okay, So you might have drawn the top view, suppose like this. This is A, B, C, D, and this is O. Okay, but remember that you have to keep triangular face on HP. So as I say face, triangular face, so it will have 3 points. Triangular face, one will be the apex point and one will be the base points. Okay, so it will have a face on HP, means height of 3 points will be 0. Okay, will be on HP means height of 3 points will be 0. But if you project this, so you will get only 1 point here. Okay, so this option you cannot select. This condition is for a, a square pyramid resting on one corner. Always remember, this is the condition for triangular face and this is the condition for slant edge. Either for slant edge or corner. It depends on the resting condition. Okay, this position is for slant edge on HP or corner on HP. So that's why we have selected this, so that you will get 1 point of the apex and 2 points of the base. So this completes the first stage of your problem. The second stage is redraw stage. Okay, you have to redraw this at a given angle. So in this case, directly angles are not given, but what condition is given? That its triangular face is on HP. So you have to redraw this diagram keeping triangular face on HP. Okay, just try to imagine that. Now suppose you have this as a square pyramid and you have these points A, B, C, D. So you have to keep this face OCD on HP, right? So now you will incline this to HP. So for that you will just have to select one point over here and mark that point as C dash and D dash. Okay, now take distance from O dash to C dash. This distance you have to take in compass. Place your rounder on this point C dash and D dash and cut here, so that this point will become O dash. Now whenever you are marking this A dash and B dash, just simply take distance from O dash to A dash B dash, cut one arc over here. Similarly, take distance of A dash to C dash. This distance you have to take in compass and keep it on C dash D dash and cut the same arc, so that you will ultimately get something like this. Okay, so this is the resting condition. So you can see you have inclined or kept the triangular face of the square pyramid on horizontal plane. Okay, now this is the third diagram. To obtain the fourth diagram, first project all the points downwards and transfer locuses from the first diagram, right? So you have got intersection of A and A, this as 1 point. Then you have, okay, there should be a naming also here. Okay. So this is your A point, this is your B point, this is your O point, then C point, and then this is your D point in top view. Okay, now it is a solid, right? It will have length, width and height. So in order to decide the hidden edges, so there is procedure. So you will see some of the edges and you will not see some of the edges. So the edges which you will see will be drawn with continuous thick line, and edges which you will not see will be drawn with hidden line. Okay, so what is the procedure? Let us read it. So first step is join all the outer points with continuous thick line, as these points will be visible. So which are the outer points? So I will just change the color so that you will get it. So outer point would be O to A to D, D to C, C to B and O to B. This diagram is termed as outer points. Okay. Now identify the farthest point of the base to the observer. Now since you are drawing top view, the observer is here, right? So which is the farthest point of the base? It is C and D. So this point is nothing but C dash and D dash. So you have 2 points which are away from the observer, or the farthest from the observer. Okay. Now next step is you have identified that C dash is one point and D dash is the other point, which are the same points. The third step, draw all the edges hidden which are there from farthest point except outer edges. Now let us note down the edges which are coming from C dash and D dash. So from C dash you can see, so CD is the edge, CD. Similarly you have to write it here as well, CD. Okay, then next is CB. So next is CB, then CO. This is also one edge. So these are the 3 edges coming from C. Similarly with respect to D, you can see here edge AD and DO. Okay, so you have identified all the edges coming from C dash and D dash. Now draw all the edges hidden which are there from the farthest point except outer edges. Okay, so outer edges you have already drawn dark continuous thick line. So just eliminate the outer edges. Now which are the outer edges? Let us check. CD. CD is lying on outer edge, so this will not be hidden. Then next CB. CB is also, you have already drawn it dark, so this will not be hidden. Then CO. CO is not lying on the outer edge, so that's why in this case this will be drawn hidden. Okay, this will be hidden. Let us check for D. CD is lying on the outer edge. AD also lying on the outer edge. And DO. So DO is not lying on the outer edge, hence it will be drawn hidden. Okay. So only 2 will be hidden, but you have to complete all the edges. Okay. So one edge is remaining which we have not drawn dark, which is A to B. Okay, this edge was remaining, so finally it is be continuous thick. Okay, A to B, because you can imagine that observer is here and A to B is nearer to him, so it will be definitely visible. Okay, so in this way you can decide on the hidden lines. Okay, so this is the view, that is the top view. Now this is the fourth diagram. All right, now you have to redraw at given angle. So angle is given, the vertical plane containing the axis. Okay, so axis could be inclined at any angle, but there is a vertical plane which is containing the axis. So for example, just to imagine this, I will explain you that suppose this is the case. Okay, so there could be another vertical plane, imaginary vertical plane, suppose like this. Okay, so there is another vertical plane. So your axis of that is lying on this, whatever will be its inclination, but it is in this. Okay, it could be inclined at any angle, but ultimately when you project this downward, you will be seeing it like beta. Okay, just to imagine this, what you can do, take one page of your copy and draw, just join the diagonal, the longest diagonal जो भी होगी, that you have to join. ठीक है, what you have to do, I will repeat. Take a page, okay, of suppose A4 page, and join the longest diagonal of that page. Okay, so you can see, if you observe from the top, even if that is inclined, okay, but you will see the same inclination as that of page. Okay, so this is just that exclamation. So this means that even if this angle could be anything, okay, so whatever inclination you will be getting, it will be this. Okay, so it will nothing but beta in top view. So it is given you. So always search for, if the vertical plane containing the axis terminology is used, or horizontal plane containing the axis terminology used, so that is nothing but it is directly given to you as alpha or beta. So since in this case it is said that vertical plane containing the axis, this will be termed as beta. Okay, and directly you have to redraw it with on inclination of 45 degrees. But again, one condition is given, take apex nearer to VP. So how to redraw? Again the same procedure which I may not explain once again. Suppose for example, this is a beta degree, 45 degree. Then you will mark O point here, because it is clearly said take apex nearer to vertical plane. So you will mark O point here. Okay, and then on this axis you will mark the axis. Suppose this is the O point. You will also have to mark the O point here, which we have not done. You can name it as O1 here, O1. Okay, so this is the axis. So you will take this distance in compass, suppose O2 here. So you will take this much distance in compass and you will mark here. So suppose this is apex O, okay, and this is O2 point. And with reference to these 2 points, you will have to mark other points which are remaining. So after doing this, your solid will seem like this. Okay, now this is the 5th diagram. To obtain the 6th diagram, you have to transfer all the projections, right, and transfer all the locuses from the 3rd diagram and mark corresponding points. Again, after getting the points, you have to decide which point will be which side will be hidden and which will not be. So for that, again the same procedure. First draw all the outline. Okay, so this is outline. Now whenever you are drawing front view, you are seeing from here front direction. So farthest point from the base is A point. Okay, so just leads down the edges coming from A. So you can see there is AO is the edge, AB is the edge, and AD is another edge. Okay, so let us check whether AO is on the outer side. No, it is not, and hence it will be drawn hidden. Now check whether AB is on lying on outer side. So yes, it is lying, so it will not be hidden. Again check AD is on the outer side. Yes, it is on the outer side, so it will not be hidden. So only one side will be hidden. Okay, and next you have to complete all the remaining sides and you have to join with continuous thick line. Okay, so this is the front view, final front view and final top view of a square pyramid as per the given conditions. Suppose if instead of apex nearer to VP, apex is away from the VP is used, or base is nearer to VP is used. So in that case your top view will be redrawn like this, and then you will have to transfer all the points. Okay, this is just a variation. So I hope you have understood this problem clearly. Let us take a problem of cone. So I'm reading the problem. A cone 40 mm diameter and 50 mm axis is resting on one generator. So the resting condition is given. It is resting on one generator on HP. So again the same questions. It is resting on HP. So initial assumption will be base on HP. So if base on HP, so top view will give its true shape, correct? So let us draw the top view. So top view of a cone is a circle. So I will draw top view and I will divide it into suitable number of parts, right? So next, to obtain the second diagram, I will project all the points, and this is the front view of the cone. Then again all the generators you have to join, all the points you have to name. Okay, so this is the front view and top view of the first stage. Now resting condition. Second stage is resting condition. So your cone is resting on one generator on HP. So OE is that generator, end generator. So you have to redraw this diagram keeping OE on horizontal plane in the same way we did in the previous problem. Okay, first you will mark O point, then you will get the distance of OE in compass, and then you will cut here, and when with reference to these 2 points you will cut this A and you will mark all the remaining points. Okay, now you will transfer all the points. Okay, to get the fourth diagram. This is your fourth diagram and this is O. Now again outer line will be drawn dark first. So what is the outer? So this is, suppose this is this point and this point is the outer. Okay, so after joining all the outer points, decide on, identify the farthest point, which is E. Okay, just identify all the edges coming from E. So since it is a case of circle or cone, these all points you have to take. Okay, so edges coming from that will be E to F and followed by F to G. Okay, then E to D and D to C. Okay, complete half circle you have to take in case of cone. Okay, now just check whether EF is lying on outside. EF is lying on outside. Yes, it is lying on outside side. FG, yes, FG also is on the longer outer side. ED also it is on the outer side and DC is on the outer side. So you can clearly say that there will be no hidden lines in this case. Okay, and remaining points you have to join with dark line. So there will be no hidden line or curve in this case. Okay, and remember, the other generators you need not to care about. You only care about the end generators, because I have already told you that the generators are imaginary. Okay, and what we draw dark, which is visible or which is lying on the outer surface, or end generators. Okay, so only end generators will be drawn dark. Okay, so this is the fourth diagram, that is the top view. So next, fifth diagram is the redraw diagram. So in this case there is no mention of the axis containing the plane or plane containing the axis something. So this angle is given is phi. Okay, so you have to check whether phi is equals to beta or not. Okay, when these two will be equal, if theta of this is does not exist. Okay, so let us check that. So what is inclined is given: a cone 40 mm diameter and 50 mm axis is resting on one generator on HP, which makes 30-degree inclination with VP. So you are given with phi of end generator, that is OE. OE is inclined at 30 degrees to VP. That's why we are using the term phi. Okay, so you just have to check whether theta of OE is there. So you can see that OE is lying on HP, means OE is not inclined to HP. So it is nothing but 0 degree. So this does not exist. So means in this case your phi will be equals to beta. Okay, that is the case of line inclined to only one plane, that is vertical plane. So you will redraw this. Okay, so in this case the condition of apex is not given, whether it is nearer to HP or away from HP. You can assume it anywhere. Okay, so it is better to assume this apex nearer to XY line. Okay, so this angle is 30 degree, and you have to redraw this diagram. Then to obtain the last final front view, you will project all the points and you will transfer all the locuses. Okay, so this point is nothing but your O point. Again the same case, first you will draw outer line as dark. Okay, this is the outer line, and you are seeing from here for drawing the front view. So your farthest point is G point. Okay, so G, F and E is the half curve, and other side G, H and A. This is the first half curve, this is the second half curve. Okay, so just check whether GFE is on the outer edge. So yes, GFE is on the outer edge. Similarly GHA. So yes, GHA is on the outer edge, and hence again there will be no hidden line in front view as well. Okay, so all the points will be visible, and in this way you can obtain the front view and top view of a cone. Okay, I hope you have understood this problem of cone. Let us take the third problem of cylinder case. A cylinder 40 mm diameter and 50 mm axis is resting on one point of a base circle on vertical plane. The previous two problems which we have solved, in that it was lying on HP. Now in this case you are resting on one point on vertical plane. So which view will show its true shape? So answer of this will be vertical, that is front view. Okay, so in this case we have to start with the front view first. So since it is a cylinder case, front view and top view will be a circle. Now there will be 2 points, one point of base and one point of top. Then you will transfer cylinder. So you have drawn the front view, then you will project to obtain its top view. So you can see ABCD is used here on the base and 1, 2, 3, 4 is used on the top. Okay. Now it is resting on one point of a base circle on HP, while its axis makes 45 degree with VP. So you have to keep one point on vertical plane. Okay. Then you will draw 45 degree. You can select anywhere. So here in this case it is taken over here. This is 45 degree. And then you have to redraw this rectangle so that you will get one point on the XY line, because it is mentioned that it is resting on one point. So you have to adjust accordingly so that this axis will be inclined at 45 degree with one point on XY line. Okay. Now all the points are transferred to get the front view. So you got these points, 4 base points, 4 top points. Now again outline will be joined with dark. So this is the outline. Since it is a cylinder, you have to join with a curve. Similarly, in the case of cone, you have to join with a curve. Okay, this is the outline. I just identify the farthest point from the observer, so it is a C point. Okay. Now let us note down the edges coming from that C point. So you can see C to D is 1 edge and C to B is 1 edge. C to B and C to D. So just note down that whether CD is lying on outer edge, so answer is no, and hence it will be drawn hidden. Then CB, it is not lying on outer edge, and hence answer is it will be hidden. So these C dash, D dash and this will be drawn hidden, and remaining everything will be drawn dark, that is continuous thick. Okay, so in this way you can obtain the front view of this. Okay, now you have to redraw this diagram. Now carefully read the problem. What is given? The front view of the axis with HP is 35 degree. Inclination of front view of the axis with VP is 35 degree. So front view, it is said, so it is given you the alpha directly. So alpha is 35. There is no need to find out alpha. Okay. So keeping axis, so this is the axis here. You will redraw this diagram at 35 degrees to HP. Okay. The redrawing methodology is the same. You have to fix 2 points, and with reference to these 2 points of the axis, you will redraw other points. Okay. Now to obtain the last top view, you will have to project it downward and transfer all the locuses. And using the same terminology or same procedure, you will decide which will be hidden and which will be drawn dark. Okay. So if you observe from the top direction, you can see B is the farthest point. Okay, so that's why the edges from B are drawn hidden. Okay, so I hope you have understood this problem of cylinder. Let us take the last problem, that is problem number 4. Again of right circular cone. Okay, 40 mm base, 60 mm long axis is resting on HP on one point of base circle, such that its axis makes 45-degree inclination with HP and 40-degree inclination with VP. Okay, so you can clearly see that one point of base circle is on HP. So your problem will start with top view. Okay, so if we have drawn the top view and necessary front view, then keeping one point on XY and inclination of 45-degree, we have drawn the front view. We have redrawn the front view. Okay. Then using the same methodology, we have obtained the top view of the cone. This problem we have already seen in the previous case. Only change is that in this case, theta of axis, which is nothing but, let us say, O dash to O1 dash. This is O dash, and let us say this as O as well as O1. This is O, this point is O1. So theta of O to O1 is 45-degree and phi of O to O1 is 40-degree. Means theta and phi both exist. Means axis is inclined to HP as well as VP. So in this case, phi will not be equals to beta. And in this case, you have to find out the beta. Okay. How to find out the beta, that we have already seen in the projection of planes, but we will once again see. What we will do, first of all, we will select a point representing O1, then draw a 40-degree inclination, that is phi, and we'll mark the true length of O to O1. True length of O to O1 is this, that is the axis length, which is 60 mm. Okay, so I will mark 60 mm over here to get O point. Okay, or I would rather say this as O and this as O1. Okay, now you will draw locus of this. Okay, locus of O1. And now what is the reduced length of O to O1? So that is nothing but, you will get here in the top view. So this is nothing but this length. This is the reduced length or top view length. Top view length of O to O1. So you will take this much length in the compass and then you will cut this arc. Cut this line with the arc. So you will get this point, and this point will be termed as beta. Now you will take this beta angle in compass. Okay, and then you will draw then you will redraw this diagram at an angle of beta. Okay, so this is the only change that is to be discussed for this problem. So the same procedure is done here only, but you can do this as a part of construction work. Okay, this is axis top view length, this is axis true length, and then you can see this complete cone is redrawn at beta degree and not phi degree. So this is the only change which is to be discussed in this case, and this is the final front view of the diagram problem. Okay, I hope you have understood this phi beta concept. So whenever starting you are going for the third stage, always remember this phi beta concept and check whether theta and phi both exist or not. Now very important. Now you can see you have to redraw here so many points. Just to redraw this diagram, you are redrawing so many points over, correct? But it is easy in first case. When you are redrawing this over here, you will take lot of efforts. So to save this efforts, one concept is there, that is auxiliary inclined plane method or auxiliary plane method. Okay, so what is this auxiliary plane method? Now just to give intro, so now what you are doing basically, suppose this is your solid. In the first case, this is your horizontal plane. Okay, and let us draw vertical plane as well. So these are your two planes. What you are doing in the second stage, so I mean again draw the 3D diagram of the second stage. What you are doing, you are inclining this solid. Suppose this is the second case, this is a resting condition. Okay, and once again you are, this is only inclination to one plane, that is only inclined to HP. Okay, in the third stage you are once again inclined that axis to vertical plane as well. Okay, just like your projection of lines, line inclined to both the planes or axis inclined to both the planes. Okay, so what you are doing in this case, you are keeping the position of plane positions of plane, that is HP and VP, constant, right? As you are going from first stage to second stage to third stage, your positions of planes are remain constant and you are changing the positions of object, and that's why there is a need to redraw the object. Okay, what change we will do in this auxiliary plane method, we will keep the object constant. Okay, and we will change the positions of plane to obtain front view and top view. So what I mean to say, suppose the same problem, you are having here a cone. Okay, so what I will do, I will keep the cone as it is. Okay, likewise, and I will incline this plane. Okay, this plane or any imaginary plane, so that it will incline to this, right? Instead of rotating the object, I will rotate the plane. So this is the basic concept behind this auxiliary plane method. Okay, so let us understand this with the help of an example. So we will take the same problem number 1 of square pyramid. So this is the same problem which we have already solved. Okay, so up to this point it is easy to redraw. Okay, now what I will do, I will not go for the third stage, but instead of what I will do, I will break problem here only. So I have drawn the first two stages as per your procedure. Okay, now I will incline this XY line at 45 degrees. Earlier what you did, earlier you inclined your object at 45 degrees. Now what I am doing, I am taking this XY line and I am inclining to your axis. Okay, so this is the change that you have to do. I break up this XY line and I have started X1 Y1, that is a new reference plane which is now inclined to axis. Okay, now as you did previously, after drawing line at 45 degree, you drawn the projection, means this top view is same. Okay, you have just inclined the reference plane. Now means your this redrawing stage is over by simply drawing this XY line inclined at 45 degree. Okay, so what you do in the next, you project all the points perpendicular to XY line here. Okay, so same we will do here. Okay, so always remember all the projections are 90 degree. So here you can see it is at the 90 degree to x1 y1. Okay, so these all the projections must be at 90 degree to x1 y1. So the diagram which will appear over here will be a new front view or final front view. Okay, so this projection transfer is done, but to obtain the sixth diagram you need this as well as transferring locuses. Now how to transfer locuses? It is very simple. You just have to take this height in compass. Okay, you will take this height in compass for a dash b dash. Okay, and you will just see where is the a dash and b dash projections. So you can see this is the projection of a dash. Okay, right, and taking this much distance in compass, you will keep on xy. As you are taking distance from xy line to a dash and b dash, you will take this much distance in compass, you will keep on the projection of a, then you will cut here on this projection. Similarly, the same distance on the projection of b, you will cut here. Okay, now you can see the height of o and cd is 0. So means C point will be here, O point will be here, then D point will be here. This is your already B and A. So you got these points. Okay, so let us mark these points. Okay, so you have got these 5 points. Now join the outline as you did previously. Okay, now this is your xy line, this is your object, so observer will be perpendicular to xy. Okay, in this case you observer was here, that is plane, object and observer. Now in this case plane is here, object is here, so observer will be here. Okay, the farthest point is B1. Again the same methodology, so only one line is hidden, that is O to B1. Remaining all the edges are lying on the outer side. So in this way you can draw the solution by using auxiliary plane method. Okay, so I hope you have understood this concept. You can also use this at very first stage itself. So you have drawn the first stage, right? So what is the condition here? That your triangular face is lying on HP. Okay, so what I will do, I will draw a XY line from here itself. Okay, that is this. So my first diagram is over, right? So I will draw perpendicular projections from all these points. So whatever diagram you will be getting here, it will be termed as a new top view. Okay, just by drawing this line x1 y1, your first diagram is over. Okay, so you can see here the projections are drawn from here point which are perpendicular to x1 y1. Now here, since you are developing new top view over here, I will take distance of previous top view. So if I want to mark a point, so I will take this much distance in compass, will keep on a point. Okay, and then I will keep here and then will cut here to get a point. Similarly, D point. This on this projection I will mark D point here with this distance in compass. Okay, if you want to mark suppose B point, So you will take this much distance in compass, xy to B, okay, and x1 y1 to on the projection of B. You will cut here, okay. So in this way you can draw this diagram. So this is now the third stage. This is the second stage is over in this case. For drawing the third stage, now you will draw x2 y2, which is inclined to the axis. So in this case your apex is going away from the base, okay. So if that condition is given, this will be wrong. If you have to take apex from nearer to your xy plane, so you have to draw here somewhere, okay. And since this is just for demonstration, so don't consider that term here, okay. So in this case your base is nearer to xy line. So simply again after that, for drawing the new front view, all the projections to be 90°, and you can draw this as the front view. So always remember these point. While drawing new front view, take distance of a point from previous front view. While drawing new top view, take distance of points from previous top view, as we did in this case. For drawing new front view, we have taken distances from this front view. This was considered as the old front view, right? So in this way you can draw the diagrams very easily using auxiliary plane method. If all the stages are combined using auxiliary stage method is difficult, you can go for first two stage with normal approach and then take auxiliary plane method in the third stage, okay. It will be easier for you also. So I am giving you list of some practice problems which you can try. If you face any difficulties in solving this, you can comment or message me, okay. I will provide you with the solution of these problems. So I hope you have understood and you will try to solve these problems on your own, okay. So thank you for watching this video lecture. I hope you have understood this video lecture. If you have any queries or request, you can send it to untwistedlearning@gmail.com. Okay. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and happy learning.